OMG! This series is for and about women, and let me tell you why. Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. Here we review and talk about the movies and TV shows we watch, and try to make the best recommendations for you. If you like what you see, please support the channel, hit the like button and subscribe. I recently came across this Australian series from 2023 called While the Men Are Away. The series is an absolutely delightful story with a touch of truth. It's warm and full of characters you'll fall in love with. But, and I emphasize the but, despite these praises, I have to be honest, I was a little disappointed. Okay, let me tell you why. The series follows Francesca, an Italian-born woman who finds herself running an apple farm after her husband enlists in the Second World War. Francesca recruits 2 local women land army helpers. This was a thing in Australia at the time. Together, they participate in the war effort, and along with them, Francesca hires Robert, the certified town coward, to help with the farm harvest. This series explores patriarchy, racism, and homophobia. The first episode introduces you to all the characters, the town, and the plot. Right from the start, you realise that Francesca's husband didn't really enlist for the war, and his corpse is probably hidden somewhere on the property. It's easy to figure out that Robert is bisexual, that Gwen is attracted to women, and Francesca is her type. In the series, things go rather smoothly for our 3 protagonists, Francesca, Kathleen and Robert. But with the arrival of these new employees at the farm, they have to be very careful to keep their secrets. In spite of everything, and very quickly, one by one, these secrets are brought to light. The episodes only last 20 to 25 minutes, so everything goes by fairly quickly. I won't say, and I can't say more, otherwise I'll spoil the whole series for you. This brings me back to my first statement. While the story is interesting and the characters endearing, you can't help but find the series far too predictable. Okay, let me explain. First of all, I was most surprised by the speed and ease with which these 2 outsiders, Esther and Gwen, got involved in everything that was happening on the farm. The disappearance, you'll understand if you watch the series, the affairs, the lesbianism and so on. When they were only there in the first place just to help with the harvest. But hey, this can totally fly. The thing is, by the time we reach episode 4, yes, I've grown attached to all the characters, the friendships, the intimacy they've succeeded so well in creating. But I couldn't help wondering where all this was heading. This brings me to my second point. Because every problem seemed to be solved within minutes of being raised, and in the same episode in which it was first brought up. To me, all the problems seemed to already have a pre-established solution, and all the characters had to do was to put everything in place to get out of the situation they found themselves in. What I mean is, you can easily read the script of the episodes as they unfold. A good series makes you forget that it's been written and draws you into its world, to the point where you forget that the characters are fictional. Don't get me wrong, I really enjoyed this series, especially, and even more so, because of all the women who are represented. OMG. This series is for and about women, also with all the lesbian sex scenes, which surprisingly aren't offensive at all. Perhaps because there is no male gaze. The scenes are not there to eroticize these women, but rather to show that they are sexual beings who have urges and desires, and also the emotions and feelings that come with them. Around episode 5, I really started to struggle to keep going. The only thing that kept me watching was Francesca's past. I really wanted to know the whole story, so I kept watching. And I must say, I don't regret it. My favourite episode was episode 7, especially as these women seem to have formed their own family and have found in each other people with whom they can be themselves. I also really enjoyed the highlights of the disparities in terms of salaries, conditions and segregation that existed in Australia at that time. The series also highlights how easy it is to be ostracized and stigmatized within a small community. Okay, to wrap up this review, I must say, the thing I particularly enjoyed about this series was the characters' growth. The story was touching. The characters were very likable, and the whole series is more or less easy to watch. I will give it a 6.5 out of 10. The series was promoted as an often but not always wildly historically inaccurate dramedy about the Women's Land Army during World War II. It premiered on the 27th of September 2023 with double episodes. You can catch While the Men Are Away on SBS On Demand. And you may need a VPN if you are not in a Commonwealth country. If you enjoyed this video, check out these other videos on the channel.